And we are live, Daytona International Speedway. Tonight we're here with Gunner for SR. And we're set for a 100 laps here tonight, guys, under the lights. Guys using NASCAR rules for sim racing, proud sponsors of the ARCA Series Pole Award. And they are all here. Kevin Linden, Adam Monstaoka, David Camara is here tonight. Randy Collins, we got a full house. 19 drivers showing up for this one here tonight, Cowboy. But first, I want to tell you about a race that's coming up on Thursday night. This is July 5th, and we are very proud to announce a special broadcast airing Thursday. Join us at 7:30 p.m. Eastern for the Prader-Willi Syndrome charity race, sponsored in part by Paint the Yellow Racing. And I'll tell you what, to give you a little bit more information about it, why don't we take a look at this. Hi, I'm J.D. Webb, one of the executive producers and commentators for ETV Live, an online simulation autosports broadcasting company. Prader-Willi syndrome is the most common cause of life-threatening obesity in children. It causes them to have uncontrollable urges to eat, feelings and compulsions for hunger all the time, but hunger is the least of the problems, especially if left untended. Prader-Willi syndrome leads to low muscle tone, short stature, incomplete sexual development, and can lead to a stage of obesity that is life-threatening. Sponsored by Paint the Yellow Racing League, Ed Peoples and his daughter Victoria and son Mitchell join me tonight to invite you to attend and to participate in this worthy cause. Ed, just briefly, the lifestyle adjustments that a parent must take, both in the home and psychological, must be very difficult. Please explain to our viewers what it means to have a child with Prader-Willi syndrome.
Thank you very much, JD. We have a customized kitchen provided by Habitat for Humanity where the doors are locked at all times by a combination-style keypad. We also use a weekly menu posted for her to see so she knows what meals she will be having and the times and the foods and amounts that she will be receiving. As far as our careers, they are a challenge for both parents to work, yet both of us be constantly available for the many doctor visits and the therapist appointments to juggle. As far as the psychological effect, her smiles make all of our challenges and struggles worthwhile to manage on a daily basis. We are very aware of the many other diseases and syndromes and disabilities out there that are much more severe than Prader-Willi syndrome. We feel very fortunate to have an organization like Prader-Willi Syndrome USA to be there in times of need and in crisis. Thanks, JD.
And Victoria, sweetheart, I don't understand what you feel and how you live with Prader-Willi syndrome because I just don't know a lot about it. So can you tell me and everyone listening, sweetheart, what it's like?
I try to always be happy and my boyfriend.
She's always trying to be happy, and that is very common with her and other children with Prader-Willi syndrome, always smiling. And she does love to communicate with the boyfriend she has in Pittsburgh. She loves with Prader-Willi syndrome.
Very good. And Mitchell, I'll bet you're proud of your older sister. What are some of the things that you do to help?
I try to be a bigger brother even though I'm little. I try to play with her because she doesn't have friends to play with.
Very good. Please join Ed, Victoria, Mitchell, and I, along with many others, on July 5th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, live on ETV Live for a very special night, and learn more about this rarely publicized illness that affects 1 in 15,000 children annually in the U.S., and how you can help provide relief. We'll see you then. All right, and I'll tell you what, Cowboy, if you don't have anything better to do on Thursday night about 7:30 p.m. Eastern, you need to tune in, etv-eplay.net. Click on the links there on the front page. It'll take you to it. Prader-Willi charity race here, sponsored by Paint the Yellow. But tonight, we are at Daytona International Speedway, the granddaddy of them all. The qualifying underway here. So far, looks like Devin Smirker has laid down a 50.364 here tonight, followed by Mark Brown's 50.388. Qualifying still underway. Why don't we take them down through the points, Mike, and let everybody know who's who and who's where here at Gunner for SR Racing tonight. Russell Carson occupying that #1 spot up there. Looks like he's been up there for quite some time. Let's see, Cowboy. He's got 9 wins to his credit, 1 top 10 finish here. He's the leader of the pack tonight. In close pursuit, up 2 positions this week. Kevin Linden, 16 points behind the leader. And I'll tell you what, he's looking for a good night tonight as well with 8 top 5s and 4 top 10s, Mike.
And JD, Bruce Boyer sitting third right now in points. Had a tough week last week at Kentucky, finishing ninth. He wishes he'd have done a little better, but he's going to try to rebound here tonight at Daytona. He sits third, fourth in points, up one position. Keith Johnson, 22 behind Russell Carson.
And Ben Manning, he sits 27 points behind the leader, down a couple of notches this week, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, looking for a good points night tonight. Adam Monsteoka, no movement this week for him, sitting there in sixth position, 33 points behind the leader, Mike.
And sitting seventh position, JD, in the points, Devin Smirker, who's on the pole right now in the qualifying. He sits seventh. He's just 71 points behind Russell Carson, your leader. And then sitting in eighth, one up from last week, John Trombley, 77, JD, behind the leader.
Randy Collins up a notch this week as well, guys, sitting in ninth position. He's 93 points behind the leader, looking for some success here tonight at Daytona. Rounding out your top 10, down a couple of notches this week. George Gollin, guys, he's 105 points behind the leader, but he's looking for a little bit of movement in the points tonight for sure. And that rounds out your top 10 here for a Gunner 4 SR Racing tonight. I just got the statistics from Kentucky last week, and Russell Carson taking a big one home. Adam Monstecoy with a solid second-place finish at Kentucky. Kevin Linden coming in third. Keith Johnson with a top-5 finish in fourth. And David Camara rounding out your top 5 at Kentucky last week. Tough track. We've been there all week, and looks like some of these guys had a little bit of success.
Oh yeah, JD. I tell you, Kentucky's one of those tracks that you got to bring your A-Day game to. We saw last night with another league that ran there at Kentucky. It's not a very easy track to tame, but I know these guys are looking forward to Daytona under the lights here, JD. I think all the emotions are set aside from the Kentucky race. I think everybody's looking forward to tonight's race.
You bet. And let's take it on down to pit road. Dakota Irma standing by with Dalton, England. Dakota, what do you got for us, bud?
Guys, tires not a concern tonight. You're gonna hear about 38 laps on the fuel. They're gonna try to maybe stretch the fuel, but draft right now is gonna be the important thing. I think you're gonna see a bunch of pack racing, and that can cause some problems.
All right, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and take it down trackside to the Cactus Cuties and our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air,
All right, welcome back, and thank you to the Cactus Cooties for a wonderful rendition of the national anthem. And let me tell you something, Cowboy, calling the action for you tonight, none other than Michael the Batman Keaton up here in the booth. They call me the Cowboy. I'm J.D. Webb down on Pit Road. You heard him earlier. Dakota Irma, Dalton, England joining us tonight. What a fantastic job that young man did last night. In the meantime, Michael, out here on the pole tonight, Devin Smirker with a 50.364 on the outside in that first row. Keith Johnson with a 53.69.
Yeah, and starting row 2 tonight, JD, Mark Brown in the number 73 car and Jason Gargett on the outside.
Adam Masaoka, he'll be starting on the inside in that number 74 machine. Outside of him in 6th position in that number 9 car is going to be Doug Benware.
And starting 7th tonight in the 84 machine, Kevin Linden, and outside him, the number 19 of Skylar Brown.
David Camara, he'll be starting in 9th position on the inside, and that number 72 in number 10 position in the 6th car, Robin Slaughter.
And what can Brown do for you? Well, that's the 28 machine of Russell Carson in the 11th spot. Outside him, Bruce Boyer.
And in 13th position on the inside, John Trombley, he'll be starting in that number 3 machine. On the outside of him, in Indy 88, Brian Boyer in 14th.
Starting 15th tonight, Randy Collins, and outside Randy's going to be Brock Hubble.
Peter Rael, he'll be starting in 17th position, and the 02 on the inside. On the outside, in 18th, the number 15, Patrick Antora, and starting in 19th, bringing up the tail end of the field, Mark Tippery. Now, the last, let's see, from about the position, looks like position 11 on back to 19 guys did not elect to qualify, so it's a luck of the draw when it hits the line here, Cowboys. So in the meantime, up in front, David Smirker, he'll be picking up the green flag here tonight. Guys, we're looking at speeds of 200 miles an hour plus coming down the front stretch, going into turn 1. The trick is going to be, guys, when they have to make that swap, and you'll see it happen usually in the turns when the cars overheat. Let's take it down to pit road one last time. Dakota, what is the crew chief telling about the overheating conditions here tonight? All right, let's take it over to Dalton. What are you hearing about tape and on these cars here tonight and possible overheating conditions?
Oh, well, I was watching practice, and it looked like a few of them were trying tape, and I think it's going to be a really hard race with that tape, and hopefully that they can pull it off. There's going to be a really good chance of it. They could blow up, but you never know.
All right. And pace car pulling off, heading down pit road. We are getting ready to go green here at Daytona International Speedway, guys. A 26 car and a 68 going to pick that green flag up, and we are flying around Daytona, Mike.
Excellent start there, JD, for Keith Johnson in the 26. It looks like the 68 going to edge him out into turn 1 here, JD. Nope.
All right, 2x2 coming off of turn 2, be heading down the backstretch here, and it'll be that way probably for quite some time until they get things stretched out here. It usually takes a couple of laps to get these things up to speed here, and looks like that top line. Oh, already first caution coming out here, maybe. No caution yet. I'm hearing, looks like the 26 car and a 9 car right here in the middle of the backstretch. Looks like the 9 just shoved the 6 car right off the track into the grass, guys. No caution at Daytona.
Yeah, no caution, JD, and that was Smirker, your race leader, Devin Smirker. So we'll have to check on that. But meanwhile, back up front, Jason Gargick and Keith Johnson leading the pack, JD.
You bet. I'm not quite sure what happened, and I think I called the wrong number. It's actually the 26 car, guys. And the 9 just crossed over Mike and got into the 26 and shoved them right off on into the grass, and away they went. But see if we can't try to pull it back here and see what happened to those guys. But let's stay with the race out here in front. That gives Keith Johnson and Jason Garrick a pretty good run out here in front.
Yeah, JD, I have no idea what the 9 car was doing. It looked like he might have lost steering there. The car just completely went left on him. But that's a tough break for Devin. As the leaders, JD, have pulled away to a 1.5-second lead on the field. Jason Gargett, Keith Johnson out front here at Daytona.
And in behind back here, Mark Brown leading this second pack, followed by Robin Slaughter and Brian Boyer working together on the bottom. But up here on the top, Skylar Brown, that number 19 machine, guys, he's going to get passed by that bottom line. It looks like 84 machine trying to push Skylar Brown here a little bit, but that bottom line seems to be overtaking that top line down the backstretch.
I tell you, JD, these guys probably still trying to hunt their dancing partner that they brought here to this race. But at this point, you pretty much just got to dance with whoever brought it, and is and running around you at the moment. It's too risky, too hard to try to find that partner of yours this early on, JD. So I think a little bit of mix-up between up here in the field.
You know, they're doing a little bit of dancing coming down the front stretch through the trioval here, Cowboy, and I don't hear no music playing, but able to hang on to the wheel here, Cowboy. Brock Hubble in 10th position up here in the 16 machine. A little bit off the pace there. He's got the 74 and the 84 dead ahead, but working that draft, staying with it up here. Now the two cars up here are going to overtake that bottom line. I think I've said this before at Daytona. That heavier line down here on the bottom with the more cars, it's going to let that lighter line up there with the two cars get past them up here as they come down the front stretch heading into the trioval, guys.
I tell you, JD, Dakota mentioned pack racing. I believe we're getting our money's worth right here with pack racing. These guys are really going after it, JD. They're too wide, pretty much on back from the leader. Kevin Linden and Adam Monstiokas pulled away a little bit from the field, but for the most part, they're double file back here, JD.
You bet. And I'll tell you, Adam Monstioka and Kevin Linden up here, they're working just like Jason Garrick and Keith Johnson are. Two cars are much lighter than that heavier line. That's the reason why they're able to pull away. And it looks like Jason Garrick and Keith Johnson doing it right up here, Cowboys. They come down into the trioval. This is the fastest part of the track, staying right together. Now, I know that these guys can only stay together for about 3 or 4 laps. They need to make that swap. One car is going to go high into turns, and that's going to allow the car in behind to slip up, stay on the bottom, and then, of course, the car on the top side drops down in behind and let that front car cool off here a little bit.
Yeah, that's the new tandem package that they've got here, JD. And the problem, though, with that is sometimes it causes a little bit of mix-up, and it kind of bunches everybody back up together, and everybody kind of just loses their mind for just a split second. But they usually try to get back, you know, in line back with their partner. So it's real fun to watch these guys do the swap in the turns.
And let's take it all the way back to 18th position back here. That's going to be Devin Smirkin. Remember, he started up there near the front. It was a 9-car of Doug Benware, who's, I believe, put it on the hauler for the night. But the 26th machine, about 44 seconds off the pace here. That's about almost about 80% of the lap here. So the leaders are going to be coming around. I got a funny feeling that Devin's probably going to go a lap down here. In the next few laps, guys. Yeah, and there it goes. And of course, Devin Smirker staying right down there on the bottom, letting the lead pack get by him. And I'll tell you, Adam Montegoya.
Rick,
Kevin
JD.
Linden.
Rick, 74, JD in the wall. Sorry to interrupt. That was the race leader. 74, no caution though.
Adam Monstioka, and you're right, no caution coming out, so this is the second mishap we've had here tonight on the track. Adam Monstioka, I keep mispronouncing his name, I apologize, in big trouble here in that 74 machine.
Yeah, and his dancing partner at the moment.
Oh, Kevin Linden going around.
Kevin Linden, okay.
Kevin Linden, the 84 machine, he was working with Adam Monstioka here. Hard hit into the outside and the inside wall here. I'm going to roll it back on my machine and see what happened. Looks like he gets down below the apron line here. It's going to go 3 wide, perhaps. Oh no, I see what happens. He got knocked by I think it was a 14, perhaps. No, let me roll it up here a little bit further. Yeah, it's going to be the number 6 machine. They're going past them, coming into the turn, guys. And the spotter apparently missed that one. Got a piece of Linden, put him across the apron line down here, and around he went.
Yeah, and JD, looked like the 6 just ahead. Robin Slaughter got a little bit of the apron there, lost it, spun it, didn't hit anything, but lost terrible amount of time. So that's the number 6 of Robin Slaughter again.
All right, 9 laps in the books here at the Daytona International Speedway, guys, and already had a couple of mishaps already, but no caution yet, guys. So still green flag racing here tonight.
Yeah, no caution, but some tandem swaps going back out in front with Russell Carson in 2nd, Bruce Boyer being shown in 3rd and 4th. They're tandem up, and then your race leader Keith Johnson and Jason Gargett, they're tandem up, JD. And they've got a 3-second lead on that 3rd and 4th place cars.
You bet. And I'm riding with Devin Smirker back here. He's in 18th position in that 26 machine. Looks like he's got a little bit of help here as far as drafting goes, but he's not the first car a lap down, so he's going to have to earn that from Robin Slaughter in that 6 machine as he comes back out on the track, showing Robin Slaughter 1 lap down as well. So, and he would be the first one 1 lap down. So if the caution flag does come out, it'll be the first car, Robin Slaughter, who will get the wave around to get that lap back.
As long as he's not involved or starts a caution, JD, I believe is how they work the lucky dog here. So as long as you didn't bring the caution out or wasn't involved in the wreck, you can get your lap down, lap back. But yeah, Robin Slaughter falling victim to the self-spin out there, going down a lap. I think he pitted and lifted the tires up, pitted, and he's back on the racetrack, but 1 lap down.
You bet. And right up here in 4th position, Russell Carson in that 28 machine, and Bruce Boyer making a swap, and Bruce Boyer dropping to the back here so that the 28 machine can get that engine cooled down. But they're about 2.3 seconds off the leaders up here, guys. They are closing it down here a little bit. Looks like about a lap ago, they were almost 3 seconds behind Garrick and Johnson, but Russell and Carson working together, trying to close that distance and catch up to the 2 leaders up there. But in the meantime, going backwards here a little bit is Skylar Brown in that number 19 machine in 5th, and Mark Brown in 6th position. Don't know whether there's a relation there or not, whether they're brothers or what the deal is, but Skylar Brown, Mark Brown, working tandem back here in 5th and 6th position.
Looks like Robin Slaughter, JD, going to go another lap down here. He's got the leaders right behind him. They're going high. They passed him. Keith Johnson in the lead here. Jason Gargett still on his back door. You got Bruce Boyer, Russell Carson trying to make something happen. Again, they're several seconds down. I think they've actually gained a second, JD. They were at 3. Now they're at 2, so maybe a little bit of gain by those 2 powerhouses.
Too bad as the 16 car gets way off the racing surface down here below the yellow line. He cannot pass the 84 machine who's up in front of him on the bottom here. And the 84 machine looks like Kevin Linden got shuffled down across the apron line for some reason. Of course, being shown a lap down, don't know whether the rule would still apply if he would have passed the car or not. But rules state if you get down 2 tires below that yellow line and you get a position, you got to give it back or else you get black flag. But no harm, no foul here. Kevin Linden, first car, 1 lap down.
JD, I'm taking a look up here for the battle for that top 5 position in 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. I see something bad in the horizon, though. There's 5 cars up here, and you know just as well as I do, a tandem is 2, so somebody's going to be left out to dry here, JD. You got the 88 up there, Mark Tippery, David Camara, Mark Brown, and Skylar Brown all up there running for 5th.
Yeah, you know, and if it was me, I'd talk to my spotter, find a dancing partner, and pull out from the from that gang of cars there. Pull up, go run that top line up there with a dancing partner. 2 cars, I'm telling you, he's going to do a whole lot better than that whole pile of cars there on the bottom. Don't know why nobody's jumping up there to take the risk. But here comes the 14. He must be listening to the broadcast. 14 machine, and Mark Tippery jumps up there to the top, and looks like he's going to pick up the 27 machine. Randy Collins as well. And now we got a threesome up here with actually a foursome now with the 73 coming up in front of the 19 guys. So you know, starting all over again. Now they're going to move that heavy line up to the top, Michael, and create the same effect they had on the bottom.
Yeah, Skylar Brown and that number 19 came way up the track to block the run there of Mark Tippery in the 14, JD. And now he's back down with Mark Brown on the bottom line there as they're trying to get around lap traffic of Robin Slaughter up high.
Robin Slaughter up against the wall coming into turn 1, guys. It's going to go 3 wide. And this is danger zone right here, Cowboy, going into these turns at over 200 miles an hour. And it looks like they're going to be able to do it safely. 27 car Randy Collins stuck down here on the bottom looking for a way around. Jumps up to the top side. Going to give the 14 a push here going down the backstretch. So 17 laps in the books here at Daytona International Speedway. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We'll take a commercial break. You're watching it live, ETV Live, Cowboy. There is no other choice. So don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California. If you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, Cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. And we are back live here, 21 laps in the book here at Daytona International Speedway here with Gunner for SR Racing. That's guys using NASCAR rules for sim racing, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, I believe Doug Benware, he made it up the stairs here, and I thought I heard that screen door open on the back of the booth back here. Doug, I understand you had a little bit of difficulty down there at the start of the race. Tell us about it, bud.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say sorry to Devin. I made a mistake. I was just coming through the gears, getting up to speed. I seen Devin on the inside, and also Mark Brown. Didn't notice they had the same paint scheme. So as I was following the blue car up through the pack, I kind of lost sight of Mark, and I thought I was clear, and I didn't see Devin down there. I just seen the color scheme, and I figured, okay, in my head, I'll just go ahead and move down and maybe get a push. And to my surprise, you know, I bumped doors and kind of took us both out.
You know, I think that was the first complaint that I heard of the even the NASCAR drivers when they climbed into these new cars. They're configured a little bit differently. I believe you sit a little bit lower in the cockpit, so you know, you can't see through the windshield with a lot of these cars when you're in back of one anymore. Are you finding that contributed to maybe part of the problem there?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of everything. At the same time, you know, I'm kind of looking in different directions, and I just kind of lost track. And I know that support bar is also in the way as I was coming up through the gears, and I just kind of lost track of the cars. And you know, I seen black and orange behind me, and figured it was okay, safe to move. And my spotter was quiet. I didn't hear nothing, and just, you know, I'm sorry again to Devin. I didn't mean it.
Fire the spotter, dude.
Oh, I'm telling you, he's usually talkative too.
Yeah. All right, that's Doug Benware, guys. Of course, we saw it happen live here on ETV Live. First couple of laps here, and him and the 26 machine, Devin Smirker, connecting. Devin Smirker currently the first car 1 lap down. So if the caution does come out, Mike, you know, he'll get the wave around for sure and get back on the lead lap, but unsure of what kind of damage he might have that might slow him down. But he's working with the 84 machine of Kevin Linden, who had a little bit of upset here a few laps ago. So at least working with a little bit of draft here, able to keep you know, some speed up. However, Kevin Linden is off the pace here by about 20 miles an hour, Mike, so I'm not sure whether these two are even going to be able to hang out together for much longer.
Yeah, and JD, I saw the 16 car take a dive down pit road. Not sure why he pitted. He was on the lead lap, and he just went a lap down coming out of pit road there. So not sure what the crew on the 16 has in mind, but 24 laps into a 100-lap race. We'll see.
And just a while ago, I believe we were in commercial. Shake up in front here. It's going to be Russell Carson, Bruce Boyer up here in the front. Now, scuttlebutt is coming from pit road down there. They don't believe that the 68 and the 18 have swapped positions. That's going to be Johnson and Garrick. So we're unsure whether they have even swapped positions here to allow the motors to cool off. So some different kind of strategies working out here for sure. Let's talk about pit road here for just a minute, Cowboy. You know, you're coming off a turn forward, almost 200 miles an hour, let's say 190 miles an hour. Hey, what's the difference? 200, 190? It's still an e-ticket ride. Oh, 3 wide up here in the front for the lead.
Yeah, JD, lap cars went 3 wide in front of the leaders, so leaders trying to go through traffic here. You got some going up high. Get out of the way, says Russell.
Yeah, I think, I don't know the 74. That was Adam Mazdaoka. Yeah, that's we got lap traffic in front of the leaders here, guys, and you know, usually you find lap traffic you know, up high to let the leaders come down low, but we've got the 26 machine, Devin Smirker, heading down pit road, guys. Let's take it on down to Dakota and Dalton on pit road, guys.
Yeah, guys, it turns out they have done what they did. I believe it was at Real Sim Racing. I'm not sure. Maybe no, it was Painty Yellow, where they had the reduced fuel tank size. They've done that here, and it is forcing drivers to pit earlier than expected, guys. So everybody coming in now is scheduled.
Yeah, it's looking like they're coming in scheduled, but looks like we have 2 cars under pit lane right now. I know that Devin got a wedge adjustment, and looks like he's getting 4 tires and a full tank of gas to get them off and ready. And it looks like the leaders are coming around. He might go back to another lap down.
All right, good job down on pit road down there, Dakota Herman and Alton, England, newcomer here to ETV Live. 25 laps in the book here at Daytona. We're here tonight with Gunner 4 SR Racing League, and I'll tell you what, get over there and check these guys out, Gunner4SR.com. That's guys using NASCAR rules for sim racing. Good tight group. Enjoy a couple of nights a week of racing over here, and pretty cool dudes to hang out with if you're into doing some sim racing. So check them out over here at gunner4sr.com. And that's the numeral 4 and gunner4 numeral 4sr.com. But in the meantime, back here, Russell Carson, Bruce Boyer are working together here. That's going to be the 24 machine and the 28 car. Currently have the lead, but not by much. About looks like maybe 1/10 of a second, guys.
Yeah, Jason and Keith still hooked up here, JD, and Bruce Boyer and Russell Carson still hooked up, and these guys are running single file. And got some more guys on pit road here. Dakota, gonna throw it down to you.
Yeah, guys, several cars coming up here as they get their scheduled stops. The 19, or no, the 19 coming down. 2 tires and fuel for him, I do believe. Just a gas and go stop. Just scheduled stops. So we have even more coming in.
Yeah, I believe 73. He's getting a full tank of gas and he's getting 4 tires. Looks like he's off with 11.2 pit stop. That was a fast pit stop.
All right, green flag pit stops underway here at Daytona. 29 laps in the books here, so still a lot of racing left. And here comes everybody else down pit road as well, guys.
Yeah, guys, several calls for 2 tires and fuel. I'm not sure if Dalton heard any different, but I've been hearing a lot of 2 tires and fuel right now, guys.
Yep, it's exactly what I'm hearing down here.
All right, green flag pit stops underway as we watch Mark Brown in that number 12 position, that 73 car, making his way off pit road back out onto the track.
JD, trying to see as leaders Russell Carson, Bruce Boyer hot in pursuit on pit road behind him as they pit, trying to find out who your race leader is as they kind of cycle through here. Not sure who's going to get the go-ahead, but it may be Keith Johnson and Jason if they've already pitted. I think they'll come out your leader, JD.
And the 24 car and the 28 machine, that's Bruce Boyer and Russell Carson leaving pit road. Good stops for that pair. Bruce Boyer with a 6.8 second 2-tire change. And looks like Russell Carson, same deal here, Cowboy, a little bit slower, 7.1 second pit stop. And I'm hearing that the 14 machine might be into some trouble. Let's send it on down to John. What do we got, bud?
JD, when the 14 eBay machine tried to come down on pit road, buddy, he just plumb lost it and wrecked right in the entrance of pit road. We're watching him come back down here now. The 27 and the 14 is going to come down pit road here, or at least the 14 is going to attempt to come down pit road. He's going to spin it and slide right into the entrance wall here, guys. Going to take a lot of damage on that beautiful, beautiful eBay machine.
Yeah, John, I'm looking at it. Maybe did he drop a gear? Did he go from second to first?
Yeah, I'm not sure if he just got down to the wrong gear there, Batman, or if he just got loose. I'm not sure what happened there.
Yeah, sometimes these guys will blow the car up by actually shifting downshifting. And if you put that baby in first and you're above about 50, you're going to loop it just like Mark did. And I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened. And he's going to pay the price for that, John. Oh, he just hit the wall coming out of 4, JD. 14 hit the wall coming out of 4, no caution.
Rough night for the 14 machine. Mark Tiptree tonight, guys. You know, just before all that was starting to happen, I was going to talk about, you know, getting off the racing surface, coming out of turn 4 better than 190 miles an hour, and then you have to drop down to that flat racing surface down there that doesn't have a whole lot of rubber. So it's essentially, you know, a different compound when you cross that yellow line down there on that transition. And of course, you know, you got to whoa that pony up to 55 miles an hour when you get to that commit line. Not the easiest thing to do, Cowboy, because you just can't jam on the brakes and come to a stop. You got to ease that baby down through the gears and then just lightly work the brake pedal a little bit. But of course, 14 car upsetting possible misshift there going into the pits and turns it around right at the commit line. So. But the rest of these guys, in and out, green flag pit stops pretty much over with here, guys. Jason Garrick Gargak and Keith Johnson being shown the leader up here. Bruce Boyer, Russell Carson with a couple of quick stops, running third and fourth, and about 4/10 of a second behind the leaders, guys.
Hey, JD, I guarantee you, if you were to look at that 14 car after the race, you'd probably see a dent in that steering wheel. He knows that it was a mental error, mental mistake, and I guarantee you he put a dent in that steering wheel hitting it. Because you want to get in so fast, though, JD. You want to get in so good because every second counts, you know. And I think he's really probably hitting himself in the head there with that one.
You bet. And I'll tell you what, let's go down to pit road to Dalton, England for an update. Dalton, what do you got for us, bud?
Oh, I just got done talking to the number 14. The crew chief of number 14 said yes, he was in second gear and got down in the first, and that's what happened. He ended up spinning it.
Yeah, that's so easy to do, Dalton. Like I said, going from second to first is one of those, I almost probably use second gear all the way down pit road, JD, and then when I get in my pit box, it's like I gear down there just for safe measure because it's so easy to loop these cars, and that's exactly what happened in 14. I know he's upset. He had a good race going. Mark Tippery.
You bet. Let's take him down through the top 10 here. Starting out in the front here, it's going to be Bruce Boyer and Russell Carson up here, tandem running 1 and 2. I'll tell you what, the 28 and 24 machine, excellent pit stop, 6.8 seconds, 7.1 for Russell Carson. That's lickety-split, Cowboy, 2-tire change. Tire's not a bother here for the most part at Daytona, but hey, while you're gassing up, you might as well get a couple of pair of new shoes. Then moving it back into third here, about a tenth off, you're going to find the 18 machine of Jason Gargak and Keith Johnson. That 68 machine have finally caught up to the leaders up here as well, but moving back into fifth position, Mike, the 72 of David Camara and Brian Boyer working together here. Now these two are about 8 seconds off, 8.5 seconds, let's call it, from the leaders up here, Bruce Boyer and Carson. And in seventh position, paired up with Randy Collins, John Tomley running in seventh in that number 3 machine. These guys are about 15 seconds off the pace. And in 10th position, running, looks like by himself, is going to be Patrick Antenora, running in that 15 machine in 10th position, Mike.
And then JD, the 19 of Skylar Brown is actually making a pass on the 15th for 8th position, and he's being helped out by lap down car Devin Schmerker, your pole sitter for tonight's event. So he's hooked up there with him, not for position. So I think Skylar Brown's just going to kind of ride around right here in 10th, 9th spot here for a little bit.
Skylar Brown and Mark Brown, I don't know whether they were related or not, possible brothers here, but Mark Brown being the last car on the lead lap, both of them from Indiana from what I'm hearing. Mark Brown is the last car on the lead lap. Mark Tippery in the 14 machine, which is has a lot of damage, guys. First car 1 lap down, but I don't know if the damage on his machine, Mike, is going to be able to keep him there or not. Peter Rael not too far behind him in that 02 machine in 13th position.
Yeah, 14 JD got that right rear jacked up on the car. Not sure if the crew's going to be able to even get an opportunity to work on it, JD. We've been 37 laps, no caution here at Daytona, so pretty good race. Had a couple of wrecks, a couple of self-spins, but they've been under the apron down out of the racing surface, so they deem no caution necessary, if you will. And we've had nothing but green flag pit stops, which is something I really like to see here at Daytona.
You know, when I was coming to the race tonight, I seen John standing downstairs with all the flagmen. You know, they wear the funny-looking little uniforms. And I thought I saw John standing there with a fistful of Taco Bell gift certificates. So it may be that the flagmen aren't even here tonight.
That would be something else, JD. I'm not complaining though. This has been a pretty good race, JD, so far. Like I said, I love the fact that these guys having to green flag pit stop on the short fuel. These guys probably don't like the short fuel, but it kind of throws like a different mix in the game, if you will, like a curveball on a left-handed pitcher. So, or left-handed batter.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, these guys are putting on a pretty good show tonight. Checking over here in the chat room like we always do. Brian Barden along for the ride. It's been a while since we've seen you, partner. Glad you're tuning in tonight. Jason Gar, can't quite make out. Of course, there's a little tiny print. Jason Gar in the race. Maybe he's got one of those dash-mounted TV video players.
I got an idea, JD. Hey, Jason, put your arm out the window and wave at the TV fans, buddy.
Jason logged into the chat room over here. Of course, ETV Live, Mike, as you know, we like to mix it up with the fans over there. Very fan interactive here at ETV Live. And, of course, like to chat with the boys over there. But I know Brian Barden having a good time. It's good to see you along for the ride here tonight, my friend. All right, let's send it on down to Pit Road. I believe Dalton England's got an update on Mr. Benware.
Yes, it looks like the number 9 of Doug Benware. Looks like he has retired for the night. He's put the car in the hauler, and it looks like they'll be back next week.
Car in the hauler, and as we say on DTV Live, headed for the barn, cowboy. But I'll tell you what, the Bruce Boyer, Russell Carson putting on a pretty good show up here in front. They're about 1/10, almost 2/10 of a second out in front of Gergak and Johnson up here. So, and the 68 machine laying off of the 18 up here just a little bit. I'm kind of wondering if that isn't a cool down sign here, Mike.
Oh, definitely, JD. When you see that car dip a little bit low under the next one, and not paired up, you know, if you will, bumper to bumper, then they're cooling that thing down. And the reason probably why is because Jason and Keith are so on them that they feel like a swap here could kind of put them back a couple of seconds, and they don't want to lose the momentum that they've worked so hard to get.
We're about 8 laps shy of the halfway point here at Daytona tonight, guys, and Johnson, Garagak, Carson, and Boyer, your top 4 up here in the front. And then about 6/10 of a second behind them comes the 72 machine, David Camara. He's being helped by Brian Boyer in that number 88 machine. Now, those two are pretty much running by themselves. And then back here in 7th position, you've got John Trombley, Randy Collins running paired up. Mark Tripley working 14th position back here. 12th position back here in that 14 car. Now remember, that's the one that spun out there at the entrance of Pit Road, sustained quite a bit of damage, a lot of it on the back end, the right rear of that machine. As long as that spoiler stays up in the air and the front end isn't too damaged, Mike, he may be able to maintain a little bit of speed here, but I got a funny feeling he'll be going down a couple of laps here before this thing's over tonight.
Speaking of a couple of laps, JD, Mark Brown just got put 1 lap down. He's the 73 machine that you seen earlier. That slid through his pit stop, had to put the car in reverse, and then put it back in first and second to get it back into the pit stop. Pretty fast time by the guys, though, on the pit stop itself, but took him a while to get in there and get even with the box, and so he's going a lap down because of that mishap there for him. So 10 being shown on the lead lap here at Daytona, JD.
All right, and looks like Devin Smirker might have put it on the hauler and headed for the barn here tonight as well. Let's see if we can get a hold of Devin Smirker, guys, down on Pit Road. Send it down to Dakota and Dalton. See if they can't wander through the garage down there and hook up with Devin Smirker. Smirker qualifying on the pole here at Daytona tonight, unable to finish the race. Maybe we can get a word or two with them as Dakota and Dalton go searching for him. But in the meantime, cowboy, I'll tell you what, why don't we go ahead and step away, check out the buffet table back here in the back. We'll take a little break here. You're watching live, ETV Live. It's the only choice. From Daytona International Speedway. Don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hi, I'm J.D. Webb, one of the executive producers and commentators for ETV Live. Many of you have heard my voice before, calling races from the booth, having fun with the fans, and congratulating winners on any given night during our broadcasts. I want you to hear my voice again, only this time as I invite you to share a very special evening on ETV Live from Talladega Superspeedway for a benefit race on Thursday, July 5th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Have you ever been so hungry that you felt the pain and anxiety, wondering when your next meal will come? How about if you're told that you can't eat when you're hungry and you have to wait? Prader-Willi syndrome is the most common cause of life-threatening obesity in children. It causes them to have uncontrollable urges to eat and feelings of compulsion for hunger all the time. Parents have to lock the kitchen doors and cabinets, put food out of reach, and deny the hunger their child feels. But hunger is the least of the problems, especially left untended. Besides the uncontrollable urge to eat constantly, Prader-Willi syndrome leads to low muscle tone, short stature, incomplete sexual development, and can lead to a stage of obesity that is life-threatening. Sponsored by Paint the Yellow Racing League, here's an opportunity for you to learn about this debilitating illness and at the same time share a fun evening with your family. Please join me Thursday, July 5th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern, live on ETV Live for a very special night, and learn more about this rarely publicized illness that affects 1 in 15,000 children annually in the U.S. and how you can help to provide relief. We'll see you then. All right, and one more reminder, if you're not doing anything Thursday night, July 5th, you want to tune in right here live on ETV Live for the Prader-Willi benefit race sponsored by Paint the Yellow Racing League. But right now, Bruce Boyer, Russell Carson still working the front row up here at Cowboy. I want to go ahead and throw it on down to the pits. I think Dalton England wandering through the garage down there, caught up with our pole sitter Devin Smirker. Dalton, what do you got for us, bud?
Hey Devin, I see you parked the number 26 machine for the night. Can you explain what happened there in the start?
Well, first of all, I'd like to thank everybody that put this together again on ETV. It's always a blast to be on here. Yeah, I didn't practice at all. I really did time. I just got in and I was really busy. And I put on a qualifying lap, my first laps in the B car this week, and I put it on the pole. And man, I was so excited because I didn't practice at all. I had no idea what to expect, and I put it on the pole. And the plan was to go and try and lead a lap and fall to the back. And I guess I don't even know what happened. I really don't want to see. So I think it was Doug came down. He thought it was clear and made contact with me. That's really all I know that happened. I was just sitting there. Big long back straightaway in front of me, hoping to get some help. Wasn't getting it and got wrecked.
Yeah, it looked like you had a good top 5 car for the night and tough fall. How many positions do you think you're going to go back in the points?
Well, fortunately, I do not run for points in the Tuesday Nationwide Series. I do run for points in the Thursday A Series, and I won in Michigan just a couple of weeks ago on ETV. So I'm in pretty good position for the chase, win a couple more races on Thursday night, and go so we can win ourselves a Thursday night championship.
Yeah, that's good. We got some words with you, and I'm going to send it back up there to the booth. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Good report coming out of the garage down there with Devin Smirker, a pole sitter here tonight at Daytona, and I know we had Doug Benware up here earlier, and he was apologizing up one wall and down the other for the contact with the 26 machine down there. But tough night for a few, better night for others, certainly for Bruce Boyer and Russell Carson, Mike.
Yeah, bad break for a lot of guys here, JD. A bunch of guys here just, being shown either a lap down or two, or like Doug Benware and Devin Smirker, who's just had a bad, turn of events that's happened to him. But 10 still being shown on your lead lap, but the bad thing about that, JD, is the 9th and 10th position cars are 35 and 36 seconds down from your race leader, Bruce Boyer.
You know, and it's about a 50-second ride or so around Daytona, so, you know, but as long as those two stay together, Patrick Antonora and Skylar Brown, if they keep working together, they might be able to maintain at least, you know, a top 10 finish here. I don't believe these guys are going to have to pit again for fuel. We'd have to send that down to Dakota on pit road to get a confirmation on that, but they may be good to go. We're about 3 laps past the halfway point, so it's unknown whether they can make it from here. But as long as Skylar Brown and Patrick Antonora work together here, they may be able to hang on to that lead lap position, guys.
Yeah, JD, I'm sitting here trying to calculate in my head here, having to revert to the old style paper and pen here, but I think they're going to have to probably do one more stop. And Dakota, if you can hear me down there on pit road, I'd like to get your opinion on the matter. Do you think 1, 2 stops are in the making here, or what's it looking like?
Well, guys, I think we're looking at 1 to 2 more stops, and I don't know that people will be able to make it. I think they're going to be close on 1 to 2 or 1 or 2 stops here, guys. But just the fuel being reduced, it's kind of cut the fuel mileage in half, and it's really something the crew chiefs are working on really hard.
All right, so at this time it's apparently unknown down there. Of course, you know, I know the battery drawer up here in the booth is empty, so it is paper and pencil time, guys. You know what? I can't even remember how to use a pencil anymore.
I tell you, JD, it's going to be tight, like Dakota was saying. If they can make it on 1 stop, then you'll probably see them try to cut this in half here, around the 60 to 65 laps mark or somewhere. You'll see them come back down. I'm guessing, Dakota.
Yeah, guys, I just went back and I got some info, and it looks like the leaders came in about lap 30, so I think they'll be coming in within 5 laps or so.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and if they try to stay out, they'll go to about lap 90, but I think they're going to pit early just to make sure they can make it, you know, maybe short pit to gain some speed. Dalton.
Oh, yes, looks like to me there's already about 3 of them down there. On my calculation, if they could stay out there, they'll be about 15 laps short on fuel. So, yeah, they're definitely going to have to make 1 more stop, and hopefully after that 1 stop, they'll be out there, and hopefully they'll go green the rest of the way, and we'll make 100 laps green flag the whole night. Back up to the booth, guys.
All right, good job, Denner, on pit road. And I'll tell you what, let's talk about MTCO gaming servers here for a minute, Cowboy. From the battlefield of World War II to the castles of the Crusades, auto racing, football, baseball, you name it, Cowboy. If it's an online game, it's probably hosted on an MTCO gaming server. Your first best solution to hosting world-class competition starts with MTCO gaming servers. Dedicated server box, no sharing, no contracts, no setup fees, no bandwidth limitations, Cowboy, and best of all, $49 a month, hotshot. So remember, best solution to your gaming needs, MTCO Communications, the quantum leader in gaming servers. What do we got going on, Michael?
15, JD, hard into the pit wall there. Trying to pit there with Skylar Brown. Not sure if John's got that up, but man, that's a tough break for Patrick as he locked him up going down pit road, Dakota.
Yeah, guys, the spotter just couldn't get him mowed down in time, unfortunately, but they're going to sit on pit road and get a little bit of damage fixed now as his teammate Skylar Brown's pulling out after 2 tires out of the fuel being filled to the car.
Yeah, and I looked at Skylar Brown's car there, Dakota. It looked like he was real tight against that wall, so that might have slowed his pit time up, JD. Not sure if you got it, but he's right on the wall. I don't know if he changed some tires or not, but I don't think he could have if he wanted.
Looks like the same thing that the 14 did, guys. Right there at the start of the right there at the commit line of pit road. Let's take it on back down pit road to. Let's take it down to John. John's got it up on the E1. John.
Yeah, guys, that 15 Napa machine. He did one but job. He actually didn't make any contact with that wall, Batman. He just loaded up just in time and just was able to veer off and miss that pit wall. Awesome driving and knowing where that pit wall was.
It looks like 74 trying to come in pit lane, locks up the brakes, and ends up taking it around. It looks like there's about 4 of them down. I know that it looks like Mark Brown came down pit lane. He was just getting a half tank of fuel, and he was off with that. And looks like there's about 4 of them down there. Like I said, number 74, he came in trying to lock up those brakes, and he spun it around, sent it back up there to the booth.
Adam Mastaoka doing the same thing that the 14 and the 15 did. Mike, what do we got, bud?
I'm looking down pit road, JD. Look like the 18 of Jason Garga, who's kind of been leading the race a little bit. Guess what he did? Slid through the pit box, had to put it in reverse, JD. Bad pit stop for him.
All right, if we watch the times up here on the board for Jason Gargak now, that may... He's running all by himself now, but I tell you what, his dancing partner went and left him behind. Don't know if that was a good idea or not. Always out here working that draft at Daytona. 2 cars are always better than 1.
Well,
so I'm not sure if that was a good move or not.
Well, Keith had to pull off, JD. I mean, Keith had a real flawless pit stop. So, I mean, he's got to go. I mean, this is go time. This is green flag pit stop. He's got to go. I can see, I mean, he's a half a lap ahead or 2 turns ahead of the 18, his partner. Jason just had a real bad pit stop there, JD. Bad pit stop.
13.8 seconds, bad Cowboy, to I believe it was 6.6 seconds to the 28 machine. So you're absolutely right. Bad move there, Cowboy. But Keith Johnson in that 68 car back out on track. And the 6 car, Robin Slaughter, also coming back out of the pits, making his way down the apron line on the backstretch here, and that's the rule. I think they must enter the track on the backstretch coming off of turn 2 here to avoid any kind of collision. Let's throw it on down to Magic Fingers John Wessling for an update.
I've seen the best style pitting tonight by these guys, especially watching this 24 car on the E-wire, guys. He comes in pit road, he just power slides it straight sideways about 90 degrees, and they still pitted him in his box, boys.
Yeah, you know, I've been watching Bruce Boyer and Russell Carson. These guys, obviously, they're dancing partners here tonight. Don't know whether they're teammates or not, but certainly playing the music from the same radio. But I've been watching, you know, even the last round of pit stops. These guys, they come in together, pit together, tires go on together, and they exit together. I'll tell you what, this is exactly what we hope to see every time we come to a plate track, large track, you know, big track here like Michigan, Daytona, Talladega. But Russell Carson and Bruce Boyer certainly working as teammates up here and getting the job done, guys.
All right, good news for Keith Johnson here, JD. He's got a dancing partner now. Bad news, though, for Jason Gargett, who was teamed up with Keith for so long. He has no dancing partner by himself. The only one near is Randy Collins, and he's about 2 seconds, 3 seconds behind, or even a little bit more, and he's partnered up with Patrick and Tarana. So, bad tough break for Jason Gargett on pit road that time.
He had a 13.8 second pit stop, cost him dearly out here, but tell you, looking forward here, Mark Brown teamed up with Skylar Brown up here. Of course, these two have been pretty much running together all night too. 18 machine, Jason Gargak isn't too far off, so if he stays right in behind, catch part of that draft, it'll be just a matter of time. He can catch up to the rear bumper of that number 73 machine and at least make a little bit of headway here. So right now Skylar Brown is the first car 1 lap down, and these guys, I'm sure, are praying, hoping for some kind of a caution to come out here at Daytona. Clean and green from the get-go, Cowboys. 63 laps in the books here for Gunner 4 SR Racing, and you need to check these guys out, gunner4sr.com. Tight group of guys get together a couple times a week here and just have a grand old time out here sim racing. But Bruce Boyer, Russell Carson still showing your leaders up here. Of course, no threat coming from John Trombley, who's tucked right in behind. So you got the threesome running up here in front. Keith Johnson paired up with David Kamara and Brian Boyer back here in the back. Another threesome. Looks like the only challengers right now, but they're about 7 seconds behind the leaders. So they need to get it done. They need to hurry it up and work that gas pedal.
I tell you too, Keith Johnson has been caught by David Kamara and Brian Boyer. Bad news for one of those guys. That's a 3-car, and that's not going to work. And it looks like the 88 of Brian Boyer is beginning to lose the draft, JD, on the 5th and 4th spots right now on Keith Johnson and David.
Yeah, Boyer was right on the bumper with Kamara up here, but 88 car backing off. Don't know if that's on purpose or not, but it looks like he's trying to at least maintain the distance. Perhaps it's a cooling effort, cool that 88 machine down without losing position. So he's got nobody behind him to help push, for that exchange. So the only thing the 88 can do without losing too much distance is to back off a little bit, jump up out of the lane, get some of that wind come through the radiator a little bit, and cool that thing down. But let's take it on down to the bad boy, John Wessling, for another update on him.
Yeah, JD, that might be Dale Jr. in that 88 Mountain Dew machine. I'm not quite sure. I tried to get a close-up, but couldn't quite identify it for sure. But one reason he might have got back there, JD, is because he's been blinking in and out, and he might have been afraid he's going to cause an accident here with the 72 and 68. So that might be why he pulled to the tail.
Yeah, I've been kind of noticing that too. A little bit of electrical issues coming out of that 88. Brian Boyer down here, so good call by our camera operator, our cameraman, the legend Magic Fingers, the bad boy John Wessling, and ETV Live. Of course, John Wessling, always the thinker, bringing new innovations to ETV Live. Of course, the picture-in-picture, the dual camera view, and of course here the other night, Michael, a live update coming from the second split race during the top split that we broadcast here live on every Friday night. So always thinking up new stuff. John the bad boy Wessling, and I'll tell you what, an expert on the cameras for you tonight.
Yeah, JD, the 3 letters came to mind, and 1 word came to mind when I saw that. Wow. I tell you, that's really cool technology, really neat to see. A lot of guys like that. I got some feedback on Facebook, got some feedback just in racing racing in line, online in general. A lot of guys really like that, and be looking for more of that too as we do more and more races. So I was going to mention though, these guys are being really patient with each other, JD. You got a 3-car tandem out here in front, 1, 2, and 3. Being very classy. That's a classy move by Russell and Bruce there, letting John stick with him a little bit. Because usually these 2-car tandems can just take off on you. And looks like Keith Johnson and David are taking off on Brian right now as we speak.
Russell Carson, the points leader here tonight for Gunnar 4SR. Looking down the list here, Russell Carson's last win came a couple of weeks ago from Michigan, guys. So, and then of course before that, he's got a couple of wins. He won the first one at Daytona, so this might be a repeat of the race back in February for Russell Carson. But right now, working with his teammate Bruce Boyer in that 24 machine. I tell you, these guys have done it expertly all night long, pitting together, working together, and just maintaining the front row up here. But going on back down through the lineup here, the last car on the lead lap, let's go all the way back to 27 in 8th position. That's going to be Randy Collins back here. Randy 16 seconds down from the leaders, and got a lot of work ahead of him to try to catch up, at least hoping for some kind of a top 5 finish possibly here tonight. 70 laps in the books. Let's throw it on down to pit road to Dalton, England for an update.
Yes, guys, I just got done talking to Bruce Boyer in the number 24's crew chief, and he said from here it looks like they can make it on fuel, but they're gonna have to save little by little. But they said if they can save for about 5-10 more laps, they will be about 5 laps good. So hopefully that they can get it and not have another pit stop and no caution, and we'll send it back up there to the booth.
All right, and got kind of a freight train happening here in front of Mark Brown in 10th position. That's going to be the O2 machine of Peter Rael, Patrick Anantora, and Randy Collins, just moving around Mark Brown. I don't believe that's for position, guys. Yes, it was. Actually was. For Patrick Anantora, that was for position going around Mark Brown. Skylar Brown in the 19 machine, considerably a distance in front of these guys. So for the 15 machine of Patrick Anantora, that was a gain in position into 10th.
JD, it looks like the 6th on back to 10th here going to have a little battle. Jason Gargett, Skylar Brown, and Randy Collins, and Patrick and Peter a little bit in the mix here. Mark Brown, looks like we got a little battle going on here, JD. Shaping up to be a good one.
Watching the 15 machine of Patrick Anantora back here, and looks like, almost making contact with the 18 machine. The 15 come up alongside, bringing the O2 machine of Peter Rael along with him. Oh, action happening, spinning out down here. First caution of the night coming down here right in the middle of the turn, guys. That's Jason Gargak helping that one around, too. Let's roll it back here and see what happened. These guys coming down the backstretch, heading into turn 3. And looks like the 15 trying to stay with the, what is that up there in front of the 15? That's going to be the 27 machine. I think the 15 trying to stay with the 27, Mike. And the 15 just drops down in front, cuts them off. Let's take it on down to John Wessling for an update on the E-Wine and see what happened.
I've been watching that 55, JD. He was really wobbling there right in front of all that. It looked like he was really getting some bad air there, wobbling left and right. 02 goes high, and then the 9, I believe that's the 6 and the 19, just make contact coming off the wall. And he's going to take a hard lick at the outside wall. 6 car is going to go outside into the wall, and I believe that was a 73. He's also going to take a pretty good lick here. That's 3 cars here going to take some heavy damage.
Yeah, I'm watching this. I'm watching this again, and looks like Mark Brown. Well, actually, you know, Mark Brown and I think that's Skylar Brown working together down here. I think what happened with Skylar Brown is he just jumped off the throttle when the 18 come down in front of him. Of course, that's going to bring Mark Brown right up into the bumper and upset the Skylar Brown car, and of course everything happening in front of them. So a lot of damaged cars here at Daytona. First caution of the night, guys. Let's take it on down to pit road. Dakota Irvin, what's going on down there, bud?
This is Dalton England, but yes, it's looking like they're probably gonna pit just to make sure they're good on fuel. But other than that, I think pretty sure on my calculation that after this, even in the draft, they still will not have to pit. So hopefully, they all get the gas and all that, and they get back out and they go green the rest of the way, and we'll see who gets it.
All right, a lot of ball peen hammers coming out down there. A lot of sheet metal is going to have to be pulled away from those tires down there for sure. As looks like they're all coming down pit road. Alright, looks like all the lead lap cars are pulling down into the pits, guys. I'm going to keep an eye on the 24 and the 28 machine up here. It's going to be Russell Carson and Bruce Boyer. 4-tire, looks like a 4-tire change for the 24 machine.
Looks like the 3 will get out first. Left side's only for 3. Left side's only for the 3. 6.8 pit stop.
All right, and 75 laps in the books here, 25 to go here at Daytona Motor Speedway and or International Speedway. The first caution coming out for the night, guys. I tell you what, and that was quite the caution. So a lot of bent up sheet metal for sure here at Daytona. Why don't we go ahead and step away? We're going to take a commercial break. Hopefully when we bring it back, we'll get this finished all the way to the checkered flag. So hey, don't wander off, cowboy. We'll be right back.
Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadionetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude.
And we are back live here at Daytona. I'll tell you what, cowboy, if you can put a microphone up here in the booth, you ought to hear some of the chatter that goes on up here during commercials. But I'll tell you what, lights are still on the pace car. We should be getting a 1 to go here next time, or this time around, coming out of turn 4. Working off our first caution here, guys. And came out here a couple of laps ago. Everybody made their trip down pit road. A number of different strategies working out. Everybody had to get fuel for sure to finish this thing. It might be good to go from here on out. Looks like we might have about probably about 21 laps, 22 laps to go when we come back around again. Lights are off on the pace car, so we got another 2.5 miles to go. We'll come back around this next time, and we'll get the green flag. But tonight here, the race presented by Gunner4SR, Gunner4SR.com. That's going to be the numeral 4. Yeah, check these guys out. You know, it's not about coming out here and winning races. It's about coming out here and having fun with your buddies. And I'll tell you, these guys do it a couple times a week. So check them out, Gunner4SR.com. And
yeah, it looks like that might have benefited JD. I think it might have benefited a couple drivers here. I think Patrick was being shown a lap down. I'm not really sure about that, but if not, I think he was going a lap down. He was one of the guys, I think, that was 35, 36 seconds away from the leader. So, and it's tightened the field up here, JD, with 23 to go. So, or 33 to go. So it should be pretty interesting. 23 to go. So it should be pretty interesting. There's my calculator.
Yeah. Well, I got the same calculator. It's that big one that you got to plug into the wall. It takes that big roll of paper, you know.
Yeah, the paper was actually blocking my view.
It's got that lever on the side of it. You have to pull down, and it cranks the little numbers up on the thing, stamps them on the sheet. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. made out of bronze or iron.
Far be it from Wessling to buy us batteries and put in these fancy dancy little credit card size calculators, huh?
I just like to get a paycheck from this place.
All right, coming off of turn 4 here at Cowboy, I tell you what, pace car is going to make that hard left-hand turn, and it's a hard one too. I bet the driver gets a little bit of a whiplash every time he pulls off the track and heads down pit road. We get this thing rolling one more time here, Cowboy, and I believe it's going to be 22 on the board left to go here at Daytona. John Trombley picking up his first green flag of the night as it does come out. Bruce Boyer up on the outside. David Camara, Keith Johnson, Russell Carson, your top 5 here on the restart, Mike.
Yep, John Trombley, David Camara going to see if they can get hooked up here and take off. But the 24 and the 68 looking pretty good on the outside at Daytona into 1, JD.
Puts a pretty good spin on the finish here if we're able to take this thing to checkered flag here tonight. Remember, just before that caution, we were pretty far strung out here. Really no threats all over the track. But packed back up here again, heading down the backstretch 2 by 2 all the way back.
Yeah, these cars look really good, shining under the lights as they enter 3. Still 2 wide. Not sure who the leader is, but Boyer trying to get a
going
piece
around.
of it.
18 going around. Caution flag's going to come out here for the second time. The 18 car going around. All right, let's take it on down to John, the bad boy Wessling. What do we got on the E-Wine, guy?
See if we can pull this up, JD. See what happens. Anytime cautions breed cautions, we know the old saying here. These guys are just racing really hard here. The 02, the 1873. It looked like the 73 guys might have just backed out of it a little bit. Just lost control of that car coming into the corner. I'm not sure what happened there, unless he shifted in the wrong gear. 74 is going to be involved again. The 02. Oh, 84 narrowly missed that 18 coming back down the track.
John, you ain't kidding, man. The 84. You might want to second rewind that in the cockpit of the 84. I think that's Kevin Linden. Wow, buddy, he sure did miss it, didn't he? If he'd have T-boned him, John, you might have seen an E-ticket ride.
I think he might have actually missed it twice. Actually, Batman, as I was pulling it back. We're going to watch him come through this hole here. Nothing but smoke. The machine's going to come down. The 18's barely going to miss him. Then he's going to come up back on these other 2 cars. And they're going to slide back up the track.
Wow.
It's barely going to miss him again.
I think it's safe to say, JD, is it too early to give out the... Oh, as he barely misses there. Wow. Is it too early to give out the Move Hands of the Race Award, JD?
Good hands move.
Good hands move, because I believe Kevin Linden's name is written all over that one.
Yeah, it is. You know, I'm looking at this one more time. We got the 18 car. He's behind the 02 of Peter Rael up here. And I think what happens is a hole opens up between these guys, and the 18 tries to fill that hole, but then, of course, I think the car in front kind of loses the speed on the draft, and it doesn't take a whole lot, and then, of course, the mayhem starts. All right, so that's going to be the second caution of the night here, and of course, you know, comes near the tail end of the race. We've seen this before. You know, this is a time in the race, Mike, when things get real hairy.
Yeah, and JD, I got a feeling that they're going to get a little bit more hairy. The temperature of the track surface. Probably not quite as high as the temperature in the car of the drivers, huh?
Under the lights here at Daytona, so a little bit cooler racing temperatures here for sure. And we understand from pit road down there that Dalton, England, our pit road reporter, had to was called away for an emergency, so I'm sure he'll be back here on another night with ETV Live. All right, and I think Dakota Ehrman has caught up with driver of that number 84 machine. Dakota, what do you got for us, bud?
Yeah, we got the 84 on the radio here. Kevin, you got a copy, bud?
Yeah, I got you all loud and clear.
Alright, man, how did you get through that last pile-up, I don't even know what to call that mayhem back there?
Oh, we got a bit more damage out of that deal. You know, the night's not gone very good so far, because we got a bunch of damage at the beginning of the race.
Yeah, Kevin, this is Mike up in your booth here. The first guy that spun out in front of you, the 18, I believe it was, you talk about go buy yourself a lottery ticket for missing that one, but it looked like the 02 just nicked you on the right corner there. But like you said, had a little bit of earlier trouble in the race. But we've gone ahead and voted. It's a 3-1. John opposing the Move Hands Award of the race award there for you. So good hands move race award. So you got that one in your bag tonight, Kevin.
Oh, I appreciate that. At least I got something in the bag.
I'm gonna have to write that down.
JD's got his bag is a rotten banana there, Kevin.
Oh yeah, it definitely. I mean, it's a bunch of rotten bananas. I mean, after that first incident, I got in my drafting buddy or something. He kind of wiggled, and we got down, and I got sideswiped by another car. The night is not gone the way I thought it was gonna go.
Hey, rough night at Daytona, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it tows me out of the car for the last, I'd say the last 80-odd laps.
All right. You get the damage fixed on that car. What are you hoping for here? We get this thing rolling again.
Oh, the good news is I fixed the toe that was out to the left. Now the toe is out to the right.
All right. All right, guy. I know you got work to do down there, and get ready for
Kevin,
this
turn
restart.
it into the wall real hard once, and maybe it'll drive straight.
It can't make it no worse.
All right. What a rough night here. Kevin Linden in that 84 machine. And I'll tell you, a rough night here at Daytona. Looks like he's going to go back down pit road again, guys, and get some more damage fixed. Probably pull the fenders out on that right side a little bit. But tough night here at Daytona, Cowboy. And I'll tell you what, watching the pace car, all right, they turned the lights off on the pace car, so we got one more trip around here. Let's do another plug here. I want to talk to you about the VRC Mark II Virtual Racing Chassis, and this is a simulation racing cockpit designed by a championship race car driver. His name is Bob Earl, and he understands what it means to have a comfortable racing seat. Who better than to design your racing chassis, your sim racing chassis, than the guy who used to drive race cars for a living? The design features a fully adjustable racing seat and frame, and I tell you, the additional shifter stand and the monitor mount are sold separately, but $349, Cowboy. You need to take a look at it. BobEarlRacing.com, and 3,000 of these units sold both here and overseas. ETV Live is proud to endorse this product because of its design and its inexpensive, high quality, and affordable alternative to the others that cost literally thousands of dollars. You need to order one today at BobEarlRacing.com, and we've talked to a couple of people already that have purchased them. One of them bought the old model, the Mark I model, still has it, still uses it, over 5 years old, says it's the best one that he's ever come across. So check it out at BobEarlRacing.com.
JD, also mention the new Facebook page that ETV's got going on. Facebook.com for all you Facebook lovers like me. ETV Live Broadcasting.
Like us.
Is that what we're doing here? Broadcasting?
What we're doing? Broadcasting? Yeah, you need to like us. So like us, will you? Pace
I like you, JD.
Pace car pulling up, making that hard left-hand turn. John Trombley going to pick up his second green flag of the night here, Cowboy. David coming up on the outside, Bruce Boyer, Keith Johnson, and Russell Carson, your top 5 on the get-go here, heading off into turn 1.
Yeah, the 02 car, Peter Well, not able to stay in the race any longer, JD. The motor in that car just popped as we went green there. But the 3 car out front, the 72, looking for something. David Camara as he pulls to the outside down the backstretch.
You've got swapping positions back and forth here, guys, trying to make that top line work. The 88, Brian Boyer jumps up to the top. Now, way out in front of him is going to be the 68 machine and the 72 as they take the lead, heading off into turn 3.
And the 68, Keith Johnson trying to get in line behind 72. John Trombley, Bruce Boyer, Russell Carson, your top 5.
And remember, we were talking to Kevin Linden here just a while back in that 84 machine, doing everything he can. Immediately lost the draft. Too much damage on that 84 car. Kevin Linden running in 15th position and significantly off the pace. And unfortunately, that's probably where he's going to finish. Kevin, of course, 8 laps down here at Daytona. But in the meantime, out front, it's on, Cowboy. 84 laps in the book. We are on the downhill side.
Russell Carson, Bruce Boyer hooked up. Okay, boys, here we go. They're going to the outside, looking over the 3 here, JD, as they enter 3.
That's going to be a 24 car of Bruce Boyer and the 28 of Russell Carson. These two have been listening to the same music, dancing to the same band all night long here at Daytona, guys. And I'll tell you, they pit together, they come out together, and Cucci's working well down off pit road. But I'll tell you what, they're absolutely shoveling the coal into the boilers here up on the top side, the 28 and the 24 machine heading to the front.
Yeah, JD, and I believe the 28 started probably to get a little hot as you see him lift off the gas a little bit. They're going to try to work it back up with each other, but the 88 and 3 of John Trombley going to get hooked up, see if they can put something, the heat on David and Kevin.
I'll tell you what, David Camara and Keith Johnson able to increase their lead over Carson and Boyer back there. Of course, Carson and Boyer having to back off a little bit. Carson having to back out with the heating issues. But working it back, here they come back up to the front. It didn't take them long to get hooked up and get it together here, guys.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't take long at all. I tell you, Russell Carson in 24 is real fast. They're going to do the swap here, JD. Watch for the group, watch for the 24 to get back under him and start pushing him down the backstretch as they're swapping up front for maybe a lead change going into 3.
Brian Boyer in that 88 machine, of course, he's been having electrical problems all night. Still unsure what the deal is, but I tell you what, he's probably got a white knuckle grip on that steering wheel, hoping he can finish this thing here tonight as they come off turn 4, heading down through the trial. Well, danger zone, Cowboys. They get all packed up, heading to the start-finish line.
Yeah, and he's going to have to check up a little bit, JD, because he about ran the 68 over. That's John Trombley in the 28 having to check up for the leaders there.
Yeah, and I'll tell you the kind of speed that these guys are running. The front stretch of Daytona is the fastest part of the track, Cowboy. If you straighten that out and kink that dog leg out and make it straight, it's actually the longest part of the track too, hence the higher speeds going down the front stretch. But then, to throw a kink in the works, it does have that dog leg into it. So when you come off turn 4, you got to keep a little bit of left-hand pressure on that steering wheel to keep it from drifting up into the wall. The fastest part of the track, right there in the middle of that trial, as they all head for it right now.
All single file, JD running 187, 190 coming into turn 1. David Camara, your leader right now. 13 to go, 68 hot in pursuit.
You bet. I tell you what, single file here, guys, and it's probably going to stay this way until we get down to the nitty-gritty. That'll be about 4 or 5 laps before the checkered flag comes out. But all these guys out working together down here, just kind of staying in line. Spotters up on the roof up there making deals, who's going to dance with who. And I'll tell you what, Cowboy, it ain't over until the fat lady sings and the band hasn't even started playing yet.
I tell you, JD, looking at Keith, he's laying off with the 72. He's not getting pressure from behind, which is allowing him to cool the car off a little bit. Him and David have not made a swap in quite a while, so you got to imagine Keith's running the engine a little hot. So if somebody can put something together, they could probably get around these guys.
Yeah, they've been doing this now for 3 or 4 laps, so they're going to have to come around from each other and at least get those things cooled off. Was that John? John, you got something for us?
Yeah, guys, I was just going to state once again that 88's blinking pretty hard again, and it's really hard to keep that draft momentum up as he tries to push that 24, and then he blinks out and he loses the draft there. So it's kind of hard to get anybody to work with that 88 machine or get any help from that 88 machine because he blinks and runs the air, and they just can't make the move.
Yeah, and he's got that number 3 machine behind him. It's going to be John Trombley wondering, hey, dude, what's going on with your car up there, Cowboy? You know, he's the last car in the line here, trying to work as the 88 takes a dive for the top side up here. He's going to take the 3 car with him here on lap 90. 10 to go here at Daytona, Mike.
Yeah, and JD, that's probably not a bad move by the 88, but that's not really going to get him anywhere. He kind of left the 3 behind a little bit. You got to be tucked right on that guy. And here, like I said, the 68 laying off the 72, not going to work too good. The 88 and 3 to the outside in 3.
You bet. And coming off the turn, caution coming out here for the 3rd time, guys. I'm hearing it's a 6 car bringing it out. It's going to be Robin Slaughter as I roll it back here. Looks like he's spinning. Looks like he had some help too, guys. 73 car getting into the 6 and sending him for that wild e-ticket ride through the grass. Watching here, looks like he's might be able to keep it off the wall as he does. Let's send it on down to Magic Fingers John Wessling for the E-Wine.
And JD, I believe there's almost 2 wrecks here. They come into the first corner here and they bump fenders, and he's gonna right there, and they just make contact here. And I believe this is the one he saves it at. He's plumb sideways, saves the machine, and then you're gonna see him come back out here. I believe you're gonna see him lose it here once again. He's coming down the backstretch. Got the, I believe it's a 7 machine in front of him here. Oh, and the 6 just comes over and crosses over on him. Wow, that 6 car is going to go up on 2 wheels, guys, and leave that 73 car out on that outside wall. And that 6 machine, wow, there's a lot of black smoke. That can't be good coming off that 6. And guys, he's making me dizzy as many times he's spinning around here.
Yeah. I think they call that the e-ticket ride.
I tell you though, JD and John, that's Robin Slaughter. He is a 2-time champion, okay, ARCA Truck Series. So the guy definitely's got a grip on the wheel, knows what he's doing. Just probably damage from past races or damage from past wrecks here has got that car kind of out of shape. He looks like he's steering it about that way.
All right, and the 6 car Robin Slaughter heavily damaged in the 3rd caution of the night here at Daytona, guys. I'm actually watching a replay on the broadcast over there. I'll tell you what, Cowboy, ain't nobody does it better than ETV Live. Catch that dual window there, 2-camera shot. I tell you, nobody does it better than John Wessling and ETV Live. Caution number 3 coming out here at Daytona Motor Speedway, International Speedway, guys, here for Gunner 4 SR Racing. And tough night for some, better night for most, but David Camara, Keith Johnson, and Brian Boyer certainly up here looking to get the job done. That 88 car of Brian Boyer having some kind of electrical problems, so we're not done yet. 8 laps to go here at Daytona. We're going to go ahead and step away, take a real quick commercial break. When we come back, the checkered flag, Cowboy. So don't wander off. We'll be right back. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, Cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, Cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. Hey, JD here with ETV Live, and let me tell you something. If it's too big for the pickup truck and you need to move it, there's only one trucking company you need to call, and don't bother with the Yellow Pages, cowboy. I'll give you that number in a minute. Manufactured goods, automotive, technical equipment, furniture, even if you need a reefer, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated is the only choice, cowboy. With locations in Mississauga, Ontario, Canada, Rancho Cucamonga, California, if you need to move it, store it, and keep it cold, you need to call Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated. Long haul, short haul, or just across town, Gary Mercer has the best trained and qualified drivers to get your load from point A to point B with professionalism and on time. So remember, Hoss, if it don't fit in a pickup truck, you're going to need a real truck, cowboy. Sponsors of ETV Live's Friday Night Showdown, Gary Mercer Trucking Incorporated, 1-800-668-2980. All right, working the calculator here again. Michael, I think by my calculations, I believe we're going to have a 5-lap shootout here when they come back around. Pace car, the lights are still on. I think they'll go off this time by the start-finish line. So you're going to have about 5 laps to get the job done, cowboy, when we take the green flag.
Yeah, and you got David Camara up there, who's been pretty fast with Keith Johnson, Brian Boyer, John Trombley, Russell Carson, Bruce Boyer, Patrick, Mark Brown, Jason Gargick, and Randy Collins, all on the lead lap, JD, all looking to win at Daytona here.
You bet. And lights are off on the pace car, so next time around it'll be 5 to go here at Daytona, and it's for all the marbles, cowboy. And we've had a couple of cautions here late in the race. Of course, the last one here happening about lap, I think it was about lap 90, if I'm not mistaken. But I'll tell you what, it ain't over yet. We may still even have another one, but here's the deal. Once they get past, I believe it's going to be 90, I believe when they get past 96 laps or 97 laps, Mike, if a caution comes out, the next flag will be the checker flag regardless, and they will finish under caution. So,
yeah, at that point, JD, take the clothes out of the dryer and fold them and put them up, because it'll be over.
And Russell Carson, the points leader up here, he's going to be restarting in 5th position back here, guys, on the bottom. So any hopes for a win here, he's going to have to find a partner. Of course, he's been working with the 24 machine all night long. That's going to be Bruce Boyer, but Bruce Boyer is going to restart on the top side. So we'll look for that 24 car to hopefully drop down in between the 15 and the 28. That's if the 15 car gives them enough room to make that happen. Now, if it was me, I'd probably be thinking about splitting that team up a little bit, wouldn't you, Mike?
Well, JD, you said the word if. If. There ain't no room on this track with 5 to go, JD.
Got that right. Green flag coming out, and we are off and running. 18 coming up through the middle here, goes past the 15, and 24 drops in behind, in between the 15 and the 28. So there's the teammate right there, 28 car and the 24 car getting hooked up as the 24 tangles with the apron line, cowboy, and he's going to lose his partner up there as they start wandering away big time. Bruce Boyer in big trouble, Michael.
Sure is. Big trouble for Bruce. 68 and the 26 trying to get something working together, JD, but the 28 excuse me, goes down low and leaves the 68 without a dancing partner.
And a 24 car, he's way off the pace, lost the draft on the get-go, but he's working that gas pedal hard, trying to catch back up here. And looks like he might be closing the distance here with Bruce Boyer in that 24 car, who's been working with Russell Carson all night long, Cowboys. And actually looks like Carson's backing off here just a little tiny bit. Going to let Bruce Boyer try to catch up here. 96 laps in the books here, 4 to go here at Daytona, guys, as Bruce Boyer works hard, tries to catch up to his partner up here in the front. Oh, and he tangles with the 18 machine up here in front of him. And the 15 going past the 24, that's going to set him back anymore. So now the 24 car has got to get past the 18 machine and the 15 car. So no help there, Cowboy. His partner up here in the 28 car, Russell Carson, working all by himself, no business partner, as the leaders are wandering away from him.
Yep, speaking of leaders, JD, bye-bye David Camara, 68 to the lead, pushed by the number 3 with 4 to go.
4 to go here at Daytona Motor Speedway with Gunner4SR.com Racing. I tell you what, Cowboy, these guys like to get together here a couple of nights a week and have some fun, and they're doing it here tonight. Of course, maybe this is the time we should have started the broadcast with that 4 to go. This is when the racing really starts to happen, Cowboy. And I'll tell you, Keith Johnson, John Trombley walking away from the rest of the pack back here in the back, but the 72 and the 88 working together. 88 suffering from electrical problems all night long as they close the distance on the leader, Michael.
And Carson, Russell Carson, sitting in 5th, JD. No partner, out of shape, nowhere to be found. But meanwhile, back at the ranch, the leader's jockeying for position. The 3 getting a little loose. Here comes the 72 on the outside.
Take it back a couple of notches. Bruce Boyer in that 24 car, now back in 7th position, restarted in 5th. Cowboy lost his dancing partner up there, trying to make something happen as the 15 and the 24 make the swap here. 26 car up there on the top, just kind of getting the 26, I think, getting out of the way there, lap down car. But I tell you what, the 24 car of Russell Carson doesn't look like it's going to come together. I'm sorry, Bruce Boyer doesn't look like it's going to come together here tonight, guys. That 24 car way off the pace without a dancing partner here tonight. In the meantime, Keith Johnson up there in the front with 2 to go here at Daytona.
Yeah, two to go here, JD. When they cross the line, the orange Constitution Chevrolet trying to get working with the Mountain Dew. 88 of Brian Boyer. The 3 and 68 paired up for the last couple of laps here, looking real good on the inside as they enter 1, JD.
John Trombley, Keith Johnson on the bottom. They're being battled by David Camara, Brian Boyer up on the top. 88 machine with electrical problems all night. 2 to go here at Daytona, Cowboy. Down the backstretch. It looks like David Camara and Brian Boyer are going to give it up this time around. Look for some action coming off of turn 4 here when they pick up the white flag.
Here they go again, JD, to the outside, trying to make something happen. They're going to get the white flag this time by. All you can think now, temps are out the window. Dakota screaming temps in my ear, but temps are out the window right now, Dakota. 1 to go at Daytona, JD.
You better keep an eye on the temperature gauge down there. I'll tell you what, if it overheats, it overheats. We only got about 2 miles to go here, guys. So working hard up on the top side, the 72 and the 88, trying to put something together for Johnson and Trombley on the bottom down here, as Johnson and Trombley stay hooked up down the backstretch, covering the bottom lane down here, guys. Lap car dead ahead. I believe that's going to be the number 18 machine of Jason Gargak.
And that draft actually. And that draft, JD, actually helping the 68 and the 3 pull away just a little bit. The 88 trying to put the heat on 72 to do something as they come off of 4.
Coming off of 4, going to pick up the white flag, and it is up and out. The 88 and the 72 working, or the 3 car working that top side up there, and it is over Keith Johnson. Keith Johnson going to pick up the win. I guess my telemetry was off just a little bit. You're absolutely right. It is over. Keith Johnson picking up the win tonight. John Trombley and David Camara finishing in 3rd. Solid finish for Brian Boyer. Bruce Boyer finishing in 5th.
Looking back, JD, at the finish. Wow, what a finish. The 68, 3, 72, 88, all right there for position. And let the 3 just edged out, Trombley just edged out Camara there in the 72 car. The 88 tried to get it off 4, JD, tried to push the 3 off 4, but just couldn't get on the back door like he really wanted to, and that allowed 68 and 72 to push the 68 to the checkered.
You bet, and you saw it right there live on ETV Live in the eView screen, split screen action there, a Kodak moment right at the start-finish line. Right now, Keith Johnson at 68 wearing off the tires on the start-finish line as he celebrates the win tonight. Well, we're going to go ahead and step away, take a commercial break, get ready for the post-race show here at ETV Live from Daytona International Speedway. Don't wander off, Cowboy. We'll be right back. Hey dude, are you ready to rock and roll? If that's cool, then you need to do it over at HD Radio Network. HD Radio Network, 4 stations broadcasting 24/7 with everything from metal favorites to the 80s classic rock like legendary Leonard Skinner, Electric Light Orchestra, Foreigner, and bone-rattling, skull-crushing rock and roll on hard driving radio. And partnered with Nuff World Simulation Gaming, check out the HD Radio Network's Nuff Radio with Bear Factory, Stone Temple Pilots, Def Leppard, and a whole lot more. HDRadioNetwork.com. Take your pick and rock your brains out, dude. MTCO Communications, dude. I'll tell you what, the only place to get your gaming servers, no contract, month to month. Get gaming tonight with Battlefield 2. Hey, Call of Duty. Do it with R-Factor. ARCA Sim Racing, dude. I'll tell you what, $49 a month, no better deal anywhere. Remote access, virus filters, remote power cycle, no player limit, no bandwidth, dude. Dedicated servers. Hey, do it tonight. Give them a call, 800-859-6826. All right, welcome back. Daytona International Speedway here with Gunner 4 SR. Under the lights here, Cowboy. I'll tell you what a race here tonight. Keith Johnson picking up the trophy, going home with the paycheck from Daytona tonight, driving that number 68 machine. Keith Johnson down here in Victory Circle. Tell us about your race, bud.
Well, pretty much tried to just be conservative all race and try to bring the car home in one piece. So we did a lot of riding there towards the center of the race and had a few late cautions, kind of gathered everybody back up, and we had to kind of do some pushing. And good job by a lot of these drivers out here. Pretty calm, cool, collected guys, and awesome racing.
You're only 2 points back of Bruce Boyer, up a notch this week, coming from Kentucky, Cowboy. I'll tell you what, 22 off the leader up here as far as the points go. You got to feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, real good points. I had a few bad races this season and kind of got back mired in the points a little bit, kind of working my way back up to the top, and hopefully I can keep it going.
All right, up another notch this week from Daytona International Speedway, Cowboy. Is there anything, any shout-outs out there you want to give to anybody?
I'd like to thank John for helping push me to the win, and I had a good fun running with David there tonight, and I'd like to thank Napa for sponsoring this series and this televised race tonight, and for sure Gunner for SR for having us out here doing this league racing.
All right, well, one more time, congratulations, and going home with the trophy here tonight. I want to send it on down pit road. I believe Michael Keaton's caught up with our second-place finisher, John Trombley.
Yeah, John, take us through the action there. Last couple of laps there, John, looked like you and the 88 were going to try to make a run there out of 4, but just couldn't quite get it done. Take us back those last couple of laps.
The 88 there, you blinking a little bit. I don't think he could push his full potential. That was good racing there with Keith, and and David there. Once I got behind Keith, I knew I could push him.
Yeah, I tell you, we were looking at the 88 having a little bit of electrical problems and thinking that that was probably the case. It just didn't quite have the power to get you there to the front. But starting 13th, John, not a bad starting position. I don't think you qualified. Was that something that you wanted to do, or tell us about that?
Yeah, pretty much stay in the back the whole run there right to the end. I don't like to get up there involved in some of them wrecks that happen here at Daytona.
I tell you what, John, keeping us cool, keeping the car clean, finishing second here tonight, JD. We're going to toss it on down to Dakota. He's standing by that orange Chevrolet of David Camara.
Yeah, here with the driver of the number 72, David Camara. You started 9th, you finished 3rd. How'd you do it, bud?
Well, in the middle of the race, I just kind of rode around. Actually, the 88, Brian Boyer, was kind of working with me in the middle there, and we caught up, and then we got those yellows, which really helped us. And those last couple of laps, Brian was trying to push me, but he's got a little bit of a glitch with his internet, so he wasn't pushing as hard as he could have. I was hoping there the last lap that when John went out to pass Keith, Keith would try to block him, and maybe I could slingshot into the lead. But very happy with a 3rd place finish. I've had a couple of bad weeks. The clockbychristopher.com Chevrolet is I think back in its stride again, so we'll see what happens next couple of weeks. Thank Keith and John for a really good race, and thank Napper and Gunner for SR for the race.
While you're thanking everybody, is there anybody else you want to get real quick?
No, I think that's about it. Randy Collins and Bruce Boyer do a lot of work for the league to keep things running. I want to thank them. I appreciate the work they do, and that's about it.
Well, there's your crazy.
I'd like to thank ETV for coming here and taping this race for us. Good job, guys.
Yeah, I'll second that. Definitely. Thanks, guys.
I tell you guys put on a heck of a show there at the end. A lot of fun racing. Dave, John, Keith, all outstanding jobs, don't you think, JD?
Absolutely. I tell you what, like I was talking with Keith Johnson, he, coming up a notch here from with a good run from Kentucky. Moving up in the points here, sitting in 4th, so this is going to be a good night for him. He's only 2 points back of Bruce Boyer, so that's going to take him up a couple of notches, and perhaps give Kevin Linden, who had all kinds of trouble here tonight at Daytona, so give him a run for his money. So only 22 points behind Russell Carson, who also had kind of a tough night here. Russell finishing in 6th after winning the first race of the series back in February. But before we leave, I want to leave you with this one last thought and ask you to tune in on Thursday night here on ETV Live. Very special occasion coming up. And let me tell you something. Let me just leave you with this last thought. And I want you to think about it real hard. If you've ever gone to bed hungry, and I mean absolutely hungry, and woke up the next morning and somebody tells you that you can't have anything to eat, then you need to tune in on Thursday night and watch this special benefit race, the Prater-Willi benefit sponsored by Paint the Yellow Racing, live from Talladega. It affects 1 in 15,000 kids each year, and I'll tell you, it is a life-threatening disease. Learn about it with us at 7:30 p.m. Eastern here live on ETV Live Thursday, July 5th. So with that in mind, from Daytona International Speedway for Dakota Ehrman and Dalton England on pit road, Mike the Batman Keaton up here in the booth with me. Of course, Magic Fingers working the cameras for you tonight as always. We'll catch you next time on ETV Live.
Thank you.